Gonna be a weird discussion tonight, guys.
Wongers, the Dorkening is everywhere you expect it to be, except for not where you think. Wait, what? Are you drunk? I don't know.
Hey you dorks, this is Gunnar Hansen, Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and you are listening to The Dorkening.
Hi, I'm Brian Johnson, and although you probably accidentally stumbled across it and have no idea why you're watching it, you are in fact watching The Dorkening.
Hello, this is Tom Kenny, voice actor, the voice of the Ice King on Adventure Time, and SpongeBob SquarePants. Meow. Oh, Gary the Snail too. Hey, guess what you're filling your eye holes and ear holes with? The Dorkening! Oh, I love the Dorkening. Very popular in Ooh. And Bikini Bottom.
Hi, I'm Lou Ferrigno. You're watching The Dorkening. And you know what? You don't like me when I get angry, so don't get me angry. You better keep watching The Dorkening.
Hey guys, this is Felissa Rose, and you're watching The Dorkening.
Hey guys, it's Courtney Palm. We're shooting Death House, and you're watching The Dorkening.
This is Anthony Michael Hall, and you're watching The Dorkening. Stay tuned, my friend's going to show you what entertainment's all about, baby.
The Dorkening.
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Rise and shine, my sinners. When Father Evil starts his day, he gets a little deadly. Deadly Grounds coffee has the richest, smoothest flavor you'll find anywhere. It's sinfully delicious. Once you go deadly, you never go back. Order yours at getdeadly.com. Coffee's so good, it's scary.
Hey, happy Wednesday, everybody. You're watching The Dorkening, 2 wins with a Y, and it's not where you think. Yeah, see what it did there. Brandon, save me.
No worries. I just have to say, first of all, thanks everyone for tuning in, or whatever you call the version of that on the internet, because there's no tuning hubs. But I honestly have to say, it just struck me tonight how funny it is that we have the lovely Ashes Von Nightmare doing our parental advisory and what have you before the show actually starts, and that the final sentence in that is, this is for mature audiences only. So here's 4 dudes who are going to talk about comic books, video games, cartoons, movies, and toys. And although it sounds like we're speaking like fully grown men using foul language while doing so, I feel it's necessary to point out that every single one of us have been talking about these things the exact same way since we were 11. There is no 11-year-old on the face of the planet that doesn't talk about this shit the same fucking way we do. They just wait till their parents aren't around. Hi, everyone.
Hello. Just wait till what I show you later. Yo,
Whoa!
yo.
Surprise?
Yeah. Hi, Yo-Yo.
Hey, everybody.
Hey. Special guest star? Is that what we should? Yeah, special guest star. Justin!
Hey!
How's it going?
He's
good.
The specialist.
Yes, the specialist. They brought me in to fill a gap.
That's why we call him Justin Gap Filler Cooper.
Yep. Just in, just out.
Good night, everyone. That's our show.
Yeah, it's a high spot.
Well, speaking of like toys and everything, I just wanted to share.
We never do that on this show. This would be a nice change of pace.
So the gods have aligned, and or the stars have aligned, and something came in stock, and I told myself, I'm not going to order this, because if I order this, if this one thing becomes available,
You finally got the extra small fleshlight.
You could just use the regular one. I mean, come on.
Okay, so there's this new Star Wars line.
Yep.
And I told myself I'm not gonna get it, but they had this one ship I really wanted. Turns out that's one of the chase ones.
Ooh.
And I said, it's gonna be a sign of the gods. If this becomes available, then I'll collect the line. Well, that ship became available. I was able to order. I ordered it on Amazon, and it's the Jazz Wares.
Ooh.
So
is that called Boba Fett's ship, or is that called Slave One? What's it called?
Yeah, they changed the name to Boba Fett's ship.
Wow.
So it's a whole line. I have 3 of them so far. But
They're the best micro machines ever.
I know. Well, that's what it's taken over. They're super detailed.
Oh, wow.
I mean, any figure that you can hold in your hand is technically a micro machine, right?
Oh, yeah.
What are you calling a hunk of junk?
Can it actually travel at warp speed, though? Because if not, I'm not that impressed.
No, it doesn't warp. Come on. Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Yeah, check it. And even the so
hit the wiki bit out too.
I don't know if you can see
it stalls out like an old Pinto.
It even has I don't know why it's still going, but even has a little area where they hid in New Hope.
Oh, that's fun.
That's neat.
Does it have dice though?
No.
Let's remember to let the Wookiee
ball.
So yeah, this is from I think I want to say Jazz Wares, but something like that. It's a brand new line. You can get it at Walmart, Amazon.
Is it a PVC plastic? Is it like a hard vinyl? Give us some details here.
It's actually marshmallow.
Is it fragile? Is it? Wow.
It is a hard plastic. It has some heft to it, so it's definitely some quality. But you know, all the areas open and stuff like that. Each one comes with its own figures. Yeah, I don't know if you see that.
That's fun. Does it come with Boba Fett or Fat Boba Fett?
This
Boba
comes
Fett?
See, that was too low hanging. So it's
Oh no, there's no such thing. No such thing, sir. I disagree.
It comes with the Boba Fett from Mandalorian, along with that
it does.
the assassin.
Fennec Shan.
Yeah.
More like overfit.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, oh,
Brandon, everybody.
And last thing I'll show is this showed up a while ago, but I just opened it up, and my wife got a kick out of it.
My wife. Sorry, I couldn't help it. I told you there's no such thing as low hanging.
Yeah. So I open it at my desk, and she goes, "You're playing with a toy?" I go, "But it turns into a dinosaur."
It's like two toys.
It
That is
is,
the
yeah.
best response ever.
Yeah,
oh my god. Is that slag?
Yes, or slug.
Slug.
Or sludge.
Or sled. Or
Salami
or sludge.
Yeah.
Just sledge.
Sledge.
But it's part of the 86
My
line
brother Hammer.
where they're recreating the G1 figures, but in a little bit bigger.
That's really cool. I can't get into that because it's an endless pit of money, and I will not stop. And I know that about myself because I was looking at it. I'm like, oh, this Starscream has the crown. And I'm like, no, Justin, snap out of it. I had like one of those Lord of the Rings moments, right? Where I almost put the ring on. And I was like, ah! It was bad. It was like $249, but I was so locked in on
wow.
it. And I was just like, ah!
Well, they did make one from the 86 line that is much more affordable. I think it's like $50.
I feel like you're at this point you're offering a drug addict.
Yeah, that's like 80% more affordable.
Like I can't. You can see. I have a problem.
But he comes with the crown and
just one more hit.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, where am I going to put it? The Hellboy shelf, the Batman shelf. You know, I got Age of Apocalypse behind me over here. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh boy.
So what did I miss, guys? I wasn't here last week.
What, the planet Earth? What did I miss, guys? Like Leo doesn't fucking know. Actually, I'm very curious before we get into actual topics that were listed. Leo.
Yes, sir.
Me, please, sir.
Yeah.
The fuck are you on about yet again with Mephisto confirmed?
It's where Madison went to. She said the goat named Jake, she had to give him like 6 drops of blood in order to get free, and he would like reap their souls. And
first of all, I feel like we really need to buckle down and really look at the definition of the word confirm. Secondly, maybe that was just a demon goat named Jake that needed 6 drops of blood. Weirder things have happened, even in the MCU. So, watch you and your confirmations, pal.
They did have a gun-toting lobster in a book called Fallen Angels. And they were mutants, but they were mutant lobsters. So, yeah, that would be weirder than that.
But still weird. Still weird. That's all I'm saying.
So there was actually not really an Easter egg, but for the latest, I'm assuming we all watched the latest episode of Hulk.
She-Hulk? Yes.
She-Hulk. You all caught up?
Yep.
Okay. So her date, Todd, apparently in the pre-release copy of the show that they sent to reviewers, his name in the credits was Hulk Todd, but then they changed it to just Todd on the actual release.
Yeah, but I mean, he could have just been like a Hulk fanboy. You know, he could have had like the Hulk's face tattooed on his back or something. I mean,
was that the kid at her blind date where he's like, "Are you indestructible?"
Yeah.
It's like,
Let's
do
see.
you think vibranium could break your skin? I don't know. Do you have any? I wish. Yes.
I wish. There you go. Cool. Be creepier.
If I had a nickel for every time I was that guy.
I'd have roughly 15 cents. Wait, what?
What? That's good.
Wait a minute. What?
Moving on. No.
Well, I'm just checking something real quick on imdb.com.
You told me he wasn't going to run a background check, Leo.
Sorry.
Oh, well, you're the fool that signed off on the Corey. Da, 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 da.
Can I at least get the urine back?
You know, you guys told me I had a drug test, and I stayed up all fucking night studying for that thing. I show up at the stupid address you give me, and they say, here's a cup, go pee in it. That's the test? Yeah, I still fail, but that's not the point.
Another proud DARE graduate.
Let's see here.
Oh,
What the hell is his name from? Oh my god, I should just go to the show that I know him from. Happy Endings.
Oh, are you talking about that awful first date? The guy that like
An awful first date? Well, somebody telling you about my dating history, pal?
maybe, but no, the guy with the long hair and all that. It was talking to Tatiana. What was her name? Jennifer on that first date when he like checked out halfway through.
No. That guy sucked.
Yeah, that guy's terrible.
Yeah, the fucking worst. Just like generally speaking, not just because he was an asshole to our protagonist. Just, you know, if you knew someone like that in life, you would agree that they in fact suck. No, I was checking the name of the character that Adam Pally played in Iron Man 3, the Tony Stark fanboy that had a tattoo of him and shit. Yeah, his name is Gary the cameraman. I was looking to see if they named him like, you know, Gary the Tony Stark fan or something like that or what have you. But like I'm saying, like I wouldn't be surprised if it was something along those lines. Just a gut feeling from hearing that. Because to have him be like Hulk Todd and go through the whole rigmarole of mocap and what have you, to have somebody be heretofore unknown Hulk beforehand, I think that's probably a bridge too far. Like we have separated reality from editorialization, and don't do that. I can't stress enough. Don't do that, kids. You know, look at how disappointed so many of you were with Multiverse of Madness because it wasn't a fucking cavalcade of stars across the MC universe. Also guest starring Doctor Strange. Like that's not what the movie was supposed to be. So the fact that you didn't get like 50 different character cameos, like no one promised you that. And for everything they like, but this person and that person, they were all supposed to be in it. No. You were following people who say things for clout on the internet. That's why I stress, do not take anything as gospel unless you read it from a reliable news source. I'm talking Deadline.com, Variety, The Hollywood Reporter, one of our loudmouths on this show, because we actually do try to vet the things that we say. But like, God damn it!
Yeah.
Hey,
If he thinks Mephisto's in it,
but that's why we're here. So when Leo does that shit, we can call him on it immediately.
No. What I said was accurate on the pre-release copy of it. He was listed as Hulk Todd.
Oh no, I'm talking about Mephisto.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Mr. Leo was one of the people that was like, I don't know, I was expecting more from Multiverse of Madness. I mean, you got Doctor Strange, you got the Multiverse of Madness. That's literally what the movie promised you. Like,
I was kind of expecting more. I mean, I thought I was the only one. You know,
No.
I don't like Wanda as a character. I think the actress did fine, but it's like as a character, I think she's a jerk.
Well, I think Wanda was
You know?
made much more interesting in WandaVision, and they certainly set her towards what could have been a very interesting redemptive arc for that. And then by the time you get to Multiverse of Madness, you may as well have not watched WandaVision at all because it didn't matter.
What was the point? And like, I mean,
it turns out
they
it was
mentioned
apathy
Vision.
all along.
Yeah.
I just don't care.
They mentioned Vision one time in the movie. He doesn't show up at all.
That's because there's no android that's analogous to Vision in any of the Evil Dead movies, because Multiverse of Madness was just Evil Dead 4.
Not even Pablo.
Oh, is that why it was familiar?
I liked the movie. I'm
Come on,
I'm
I've
not
been
saying
o-
I didn't.
I've
I'm
been-
just saying, did I expect more? Absolutely.
I mean, it was pretty much what I expected it to be. Honestly, I didn't. I don't know. I think for me, it was the exact opposite. Like all the different things that kept coming out with people saying like, "Oh, Tom Cruise is going to be in it," and this person and that person, like, "Oh, that's going to be Blue Marvel," and it's like,
oh, geez, no, that's like 2D.
You know something? Now I expect this movie to be like completely scaled down. If they use more than cardboard cutouts for special effects at this point, I'll be pretty amazed. And I went there, and I mean, like I said, I enjoyed the movie for what it was. I wasn't champing at the bit to see it again. I still haven't purchased it. I haven't watched it since I saw it in the theater. And as somebody who's a fan of Sam Raimi, I like all types of movies. I really like horror movies. I love comics. I love comic book movies, and I watched that flick, and I was just like, this is basically an Evil Dead movie. It really is. Like, I walked out of the theater breaking it down for my wife, who also loves the Evil Dead movies. So she was like, "Oh yeah, no, I get that reference." Like, I understand what you mean. I mean, we even got Bruce Campbell kicking the shit out of himself in the fucking movie. I mean,
sure.
But if that doesn't scream this is an Evil Dead movie, I don't know what does.
But we didn't get, Marvel Zombies. Like, what?
We got a zombie.
Yeah,
that's a strange. I mean,
but I mean, what were they supposed to do?
You gotta take what you get.
But that's the other thing is like, okay, we didn't get Marvel Zombies. What were they supposed to do with Marvel Zombies? I mean, they had a story they were telling throughout the movie. And
no. I totally get it.
You can't reason with zombies. It would just be, Kill Fest 2022. Whereas dropping them into the reality they did, they were reasoning somewhat fascistic superheroes there who, he tried to explain the whole situation to. You can't do that if you're confronting zombies. So in a dramatic pushing the story forward sense, then yeah, I mean, no, you didn't get fucking Marvel Zombies, man. Like,
no. I totally get that. It's just the amount of ridiculousness, and you talk about like lying on the web. What we just saw at D23. It's,
oh my god,
it's friggin' hilarious how many people were like saying this and is going to happen, that's going to happen.
Oh, 100%. This is definite.
Yeah, none of that happened. Like, it was supposed to be Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck announced that they're now part of Marvel.
No,
yeah, come on, son.
Did not happen.
Listen, I don't.
If they just showed up, it's like, nah.
Yeah,
nah, son. Affleck showing up doing his best like Boston Chuck
Daredevil?
impression.
Former Daredevil Ben Affleck being part of Marvel. Thank you very much.
Yeah, but honestly, like personally, I don't care about which actor goes where. You know what I mean? Like they go where the money is, and that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
However, we know for a fact that Affleck just like worked out some kind of deal with Warner Brothers to continue being involved in what they're doing with Batman in their like continuity.
Pay for that new wife
for real. And Henry Cavill, I mean, it's pretty common knowledge that there's just been ongoing negotiations with him and Warner Brothers, and especially now that Black Adam is coming out and Dwayne Johnson has been pushing for Superman Black Adam Showdown, and they both have the same agent. Like, it seems to me like some people are just, writing down everything they want for Christmas and then putting it on the internet. And they're like, these are all the cast peoples that are going to be in the movies I want to see. Sure they are, little Timmy. Sure they are. But, like Fantastic Four was supposed to be announced. I mean, I looked at that one. I was like, dude, they just announced the director of that movie.
Well, at that time, at that time they didn't release the director. Didn't they release him on D23?
They did.
No.
He actually stood up in the audience.
No. But they had already announced that Matt Jackman was the director of Fantastic Four.
Oh, okay. I thought it was announced at D23.
That's why he was just in the audience. Like he stood up and everything, but like Kevin Feige straight up said, like we just hired the director. We're not going to cast a movie without the director's like input and see who they like for the roles. So
like, everyone get your tomatoes ready and start aging them.
Yeah, it's absolutely preposterous. The whole shebang. Like people, come on.
I wonder if that is just going to be the most cursed of films now, after everything that's happened to it. I think that the ones that they did in the early 2000s, like post X-Men and all that, are serviceable films. They're fun to watch, and there's like some very good parts. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. But then you see what happens when they try to do it again, like the Miles Teller and version.
That was just a grab to keep the rights to it.
Yeah,
that was a fucking movie.
Also, that was very heavily Simon Kinberg. That guy defies physics. He like sucks and blows at the same exact time.
Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking with the Doctor Doom aspect of it. They're like, the most popular villain of all. Yeah, Doctor Doom. Yeah, let's kind of downplay him, and let's just do this. Are you sure that's a good idea? Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
That's my secret. I'm always sure everything I think is a good idea. Sure. Whatever you say, Mr. Rothman, sir.
I mean, they could have like led with like Puppet Master or Diablo or something else and been like equally as terrible, or
equally as terrible. That's great.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, is this the Flash preview thing?
He's flashing us.
Yeah. So this is the first. This came out today. The first issue of the Flash tie-in for the movie, where Batman gives the Flash his new suit in the ring.
In the jail cell there, Leo.
I haven't read the issue yet.
Way to do your due diligence.
I like dots.
And here's a random assortment of images from what I can only assume is the comic book that I'm speaking about.
Well, no, I mean, we don't want to spoil anything because the book just came out, but I just wanted to bring up, if who Batman looks like, but it's not.
Oh man, he's the fastest man alive. There's those spoilers.
Drew like a guy. It's weird.
I mean, it doesn't look like Affleck. It doesn't look like Keaton.
It does not.
No, but I mean,
it does look like Nicholas Wolfwood from Trigun, though. So
yeah, true. He's the giant cross, though.
What were you saying, Noya?
Flash just looks like someone drew the Flash, like a guy in the Flash outfit. I mean,
yeah,
I wouldn't read too much into like characters.
Yeah, and you kind of figured you probably wouldn't want to spoil anything either. But the book is out today if you want to, check out the tie-in story for the movie.
I'll do whatever I want, pal.
Okay, Ezra.
Oh,
bam.
So yeah, whatchamacallit?
You guys got a thick agenda today.
I know. Real quick, so anything else on the episode of She-Hulk from last week other than fucking Hulk Todd? I don't.
Wrecking Crew.
Was that the last? Okay, yeah, the Wrecking Crew.
Yeah, that was the episode prior.
Oh, that was the episode prior. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, because the beginning of this episode, she's talking to her dad.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. The implication.
Cousin
yeah, cousin laddie. But yeah, it is interesting that we did see the Wrecking Crew show up. They tried to get a sample of her blood, obviously didn't work out. And as they're in their van trying to get away, they're like, the boss is gonna be mad. And I turned to my wife and I immediately was just like, there's only one person I can think of who would care about having Hulk blood. And that is Dr. Samuel Stearns, the leader. because he is literally the only person in all of the MCU that we've ever seen do anything with Bruce Banner's blood. Plus, they made a very big point of showing Bruce destroying all of the blood work samples that he took of himself and Jen back at his underground lab. And then at D23 for the movie Captain America New World Order, they announced that Tim Blake Nelson,
No way,
who played Dr. Samuel Stearns in The Incredible Hulk, is going to be playing Dr. Samuel Stearns in that movie. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure that we may end up seeing the leader be a bit more of a big deal in the near future. But yeah, so that was a pretty big announcement. I was pretty pumped about that.
How did he get out of the raft?
Well, I mean, who fucking knows, man? We'll find out. Actually, we don't even know if he went to the raft, do we?
According to the tie-in comics, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, tie-in comics. I don't read those.
Yeah, no.
I don't read any of that shit.
You mean the extra credit research they make you do?
Those the ones
like,
that
I
come in the
already have
cereal
to
box?
watch 5 billion shows to understand 2 million movies. Like, oh, and now comic
You
books.
got the
on top of
supplemental
it?
reading though.
Come
Well,
on.
you have to read what, like 7 books just to get into Game of Thrones, right?
No, not at all.
No, actually, I've never cracked the spine on a single Song of Ice and Fire book, not once. And I still watched the entirety of Game of Thrones. And maybe I was better for it because I don't feel like kicking kittens whenever I hear somebody bring up Game of Thrones.
Just to back up real quick for Marvel. So it seems like they're definitely wanting to really. We see Marvel do this. They have movies that do subpar, and then they have the shows that like support those to like make them relevant again, or have you look at them in a new light. And it seems like they're doing the same thing with the 2008 Hulk movie, and that got me thinking the other night. Like, we have She-Hulk on Disney. Like you mentioned, they're bringing back the leader. They brought back Neil Blomsky. Well, did they bring anybody else back?
It's Emil Blonsky.
Oh, DeMille.
I feel like you were confusing him with the director Neil Blomkamp.
Yes.
Well, I mean, District 9 is a great movie. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But not the same dude.
So you're bringing these characters into the MCU, but you have like Hulk going out, possibly World War Hulk.
I doubt it'll be World War.
Oh, I hope we get Hulk and the Agents of Smash live action.
So I've been thinking, like, why are they doing all this? Aren't the Hulk
merchandising?
Well, no, I mean, aren't the Hulk properties part of what, Paramount?
Universal.
Universal, yeah. Or is there? I could have sworn
it's not it's like he can't have a solo movie. That's the issue.
Yeah, he has
That's
to
why
be.
everything has to be within.
Okay. I thought the Hulk rights were coming up. Were they?
And what better way to get your food to school than in an incredible World War Hulk lunchbox?
I just don't see the need for another Hulk movie. I think that there's some of these characters that, we talk about this with like Batman all the time, where you guys are like, why do we have another this? Why don't we try a different character for a while? We've had 4 Thor movies. We've had, like, if you go all the way back to like the Trial of the Incredible Hulk and all that, we've had what, like 6 Hulk movies? They're okay. We can move on unless you're doing something super revolutionary like World War Hulk, or you're going to do like the Immortal Hulk, where Hulk gets like,
oh man,
put into like canoptic jars and crap. Like stuff like that. Like, don't even
so
bother.
Lovecraftian. It's fucking amazing.
He's just a supporting character like Doctor Strange. They're supporting characters. None of these people without other characters can support their own film. And I mean, it's like, as good as the Incredible Hulk was, or the Ang Lee Hulk or anything else like that, if you like that film, they're still kind of not as good as like any Iron Man movie. you know. And again, I may be editorializing, but it's like the character just gets really stale. You know, put Wolverine in fighting him. You have to, because Wolverine's charismatic with the Hulk.
I mean, it's funny that you bring up Wolverine because that's sort of the
Oh,
same.
it's not funny. That's I always bring him up.
It's funny to me. But honestly, like that's another one that, you know, once X-Men starts up, they need to like push him a little to the side. Especially because I am holding out hope. Like you see that they're doing the multiverse saga right now. I mean, we're not going to be able to get a new X-Men movie until 2025 or later because of the current contracts with actors who are in the Fox movies. Those options have to run out before they can use any of those characters that were portrayed by those performers. My hope is that, honestly, moving past the next, you know, like this next saga, or whatever, what we get is the mutant saga. I would really like to see the X-Men kind of take center stage with the MCU and show like this completely different part of this world that we've never gotten a glimpse of before. Show what it is that they see and what they have to deal with, both on a super powered level and on a human level. And it's really important in doing that you build it to a crescendo. And I think tied up in it would be Dark Phoenix, but done correctly, like seeded over a certain amount of time, not just a single fucking movie. And it's like part of Jean Grey's mutation. But if you're going to do that, tantamount, like very important to that, to anchor it, is the romantic relationship between Scott Summers and Jean Grey. And if my boy Scott has not been given his due propers in any of these fucking live action renditions. You know, Scott Summers, like, and I'm not even like the world's biggest X-Men fan. Like, I like X-Men, but I don't love them. But Scott Summers, man, like Cyclops, he's a leader. That dude fights for what he believes is right, and he cares more about the people around him than anything else. He will do anything for them. And that we've not seen anything approaching the badass that Scott Summers is as the leader of the X-Men in the comic books through the prism of these movies at all.
X2 came close. X2, I mean, they really nerfed him.
They came close, but they still didn't get it.
Well, I don't think that he was ever the person who was going to shine in that series after you had Hugh Jackman and all that. So, and for the record, X2 is still my favorite of the X-Men movies. I love that movie. I eat that shit for breakfast.
Yeah,
I brush my teeth to that shit.
Plane was going down.
Yeah. What's that?
How the hell did Magneto know where the plane was going down?
He used his magnetic. I got nothing. Right.
He saw it on a TV screen. I don't know.
He could feel the metal of the plane. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the ticket. But I think that the X-Men should probably take a hard, like they should take a hard focus on the X-Men once they get past the multiverse saga, because by breaking everything up and doing this big deal multiverse and everything is going to obviously have to get slapped back together. There's your opening for mutantdom in the MCU.
Oh, you can eat. I mean, so they already started to seed it in Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
Acknowledging mutants. They could slowly do. Or a mutation, but I mean they could slowly, like with with She-Hulk. It could be some of the people she come across are mutants, and they're starting to make a bad rap for themselves, and all of a sudden, mutant becomes the bad word, and then you have to have like a school special, hidden away for
So
people
here's
like
my
that.
question. What X-Men would we want to see for like the first outing?
I'm honestly saying like First Class, and I don't mean the 20th Century Fox movie First Class. I mean, I think we should honestly be seeing the first students going out as the X-Men, and then there are still other newer mutants at the school who are taking care of their full-blown academics and learning how to use their powers still. I think to have the original team there as your anchor and to continue to move forward with that is probably the wisest course of action.
I am so tired as a huge X-Men fan of all these retreaded stories. You got some of the best stories ever told in comic books with the Dark Phoenix and Days of Future Past and all that. Why don't we tell a new story, a good story, like Fall of the Mutants, Extinction Agenda, Age of Apocalypse? They could actually do something like that. Bring something else that's fresh. And there's like 30 years after all of these stories that they're adapting right now. I'm not saying go to Krakoa where they are right now, but I'm saying it's like you could go to the early 90s and do the Australian X-Men. You could do that. You could do Wolverine versus the Reavers, and then, he's nailed to the cross and he gets up and all. Like, that's some good stuff. Any of that stuff. Pick the Jason Aaron era where Wolverine is already established running a school, and then everything's going wild. You could even do the Grant Morrison bullshit. I don't want that, but you could. It's like,
I don't know if they should include Wolverine for like the first outing.
Yeah, definitely not.
Like, I don't think.
It depends, because he is what you want to see when you think of the X-Men. It's like saying, it's like when Nightcrawler was in this new one, luckily they had someone that people wanted to see, because it has been like proven that, if you don't have him in a movie, people are going to be like, well, where's Wolverine? Because he's so ingrained with the X-Men.
Well, I mean, it's time for people to shed themselves of that notion, I think. I think Wolverine works far better as an autonomous character who's able to do their own solo stuff or team up. And Wolverine should not be the only reason or the most fun reason to watch an X-Men movie, for sure. And I mean, I think there's plenty of stuff they could do without him being a larger than life presence. You know what I mean?
Don't you mean shorter than life?
Because he's tiny.
Yeah.
But but no, I mean, for me, honestly, one of the things that I always liked most about the X-Men was Apocalypse. Just this ancient mutant who's been, in hibernation essentially. And
that's a good one, Tom.
Yeah. And then Avengers and then that's part of what I'm thinking for Mutant Saga, because with Dark Phoenix, like it would be a build up to that point where she becomes Dark Phoenix as opposed to Phoenix, losing control, like, not being consumed by her own like anger and even hatred, and that's what turns her. And it's gonna take the X-Men and the Avengers, but essentially, her love for the people in her life and Scott, for her to, stop. The Avengers are going to see the X-Men as a full-blown threat because of what's happening. It's going to result in a showdown between the two of them. And ultimately, I think it's going to be Jean comes back to sacrifice herself because she realizes it's the only way that this Phoenix Force is not going to harm anybody else. And by the way she's going to kill herself is like not just like letting herself die, because that would release the Force and probably somebody else would end up being essentially cursed with it as well. But she would take herself right outside of like the multiverse, the time stream, so it had nowhere else to go, and she and it would just die. But the important thing for her would be not to destroy everyone as this inhuman monster, but to come back and make the decision to die to save everyone else as a human. But that's my view of it. And I think the Dark Phoenix saga is one that can be done and not explicitly named, especially if you seed it and play it out over time. But what I was saying...
Well, if they're going to have another sacrifice like that, I mean, like we just had a Ginger sacrifice. You know, they
The
got
de-gingering.
What's that?
The de-gingering.
But hold on, wait. Ginger sacrifice? Who?
The
Black
Sorceress. No, not Black Widow.
Yeah,
at the end of Doctor Strange, Wanda.
Wanda? You mean the bad guy?
I mean, the
okay.
one that, like, the flash of red while the place was falling down.
She's not
gone.
dead.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah,
I
no,
mean,
it's, like,
and
obvious.
enough with this de-gingering stuff, all right?
Yeah, this isn't DC we're talking about.
No, I mean, this is de-gingering, please. Fucking
It's been Jeff Johns of
I remember
Nintendo
it was
forever.
just like a fucking couple of years ago where everyone liked to fucking say that gingers had no souls and all this bullshit because they watched an episode of South Park. And now when somebody who has red hair in a comic book is changed to somebody who maybe doesn't, it's, oh, they're getting rid of redheads. It's like,
they dyed their hair, you jerk.
calm the fuck down, man. Like, for real. You know, it's yeah, I'm not even going to get into it.
You know, any sort of change is going to get people in an uproar, no matter what. You know,
it shouldn't.
It's a fucking weird hill to die on, but if that's your choice, well, at least you're dead.
Hey, Yo-Yo, you had asked the question about what X-Men you would like to see. How about yourself? What X-Men would you like to see in a movie?
Gambit actually portrayed like Jubilee.
So you're just gonna hit us right out of the gate with that Mack truck, okay? It's like, yeah, I'm
Like-
with you actually on that.
Like some of the ones that they tend to like be more underrated in the movies when they have been in it. Like I said, I don't think Wolverine should be in it, at least for their first outing. Maybe like in passing, something like mentioning him or something like that. I would. Let's try to think. Part of me feels like you have to have Storm.
Blue? Oh yeah, I mean Storm's iconic.
Now you see, I agree with some of these picks here. It's my thing is for the first movie, like I think it would be wise to like show that first class, like I said, like kind of just getting into the swing of being X-Men, and you can even have it be by the time that movie ends or the next one begins that you get that sort of a break in philosophy, and that's where you see X Factor get formed apart from the X-Men, and you can actually see the all new, all different X-Men forged, and you can bring in your Wolverine, your Colossus, your Storm at that point. And in that movie is where you see the two come together and realize, like, oh, we're not so different after all, Chuck. But that's, you know, that's just my thing. It's, you know, be a great way to gear up towards Fall of the Mutants too.
Well, I'm just saying, the more you bring in, the more they can kill.
Yeah.
You know, and I did see a picture of someone had put Danny Trejo into a scalp hunter outfit. And I'm like, I don't hate this. You know, too bad he's like 75.
Yeah, I was going to say.
It's like, man, what were we thinking? That was right there all along.
Fucking dude remembers fucking Eisenhower's presidency, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, he does. He was there.
I've seen the photos. Yeah. I mean, there's all kinds of speculation going on with that too, and you know, some more casting stuff that they were throwing around with X-Men, saying, you know, Giancarlo Esposito and Denzel Washington was another one that was going to be announced at D23. You know, obviously
I don't see that happening at all.
He's going to play Bishop.
That would be something.
Oh my god, I just got half erect when you said that. I'm like, really? Oh my god, not in a sexual way, in like a Viking way.
Oh no, it doesn't sound
like,
sexual.
We're
at
gonna
all.
pillage. I'm like, really? Underrated character, Bishop? Yeah, I love.
Yeah, I think the hope was that Giancarlo Esposito was going to be announced as Professor Xavier, and Denzel Washington was going to be announced as Magneto.
Sinister, you know.
Yeah, if he were fucking 35 years younger, what the fuck? Like, why does everybody keep
Sinister is a character that can sit. He's not like a physical character. He just
Yeah,
sits
but
and
he's also a
pets
character
his
that you have
cat.
to replace with CGI in fucking 7 years. Like,
Yeah, you get the whole Tron thing going on, right? Like Clue.
oh yeah, that went over
Hello there,
swimmingly.
Scott. How are you? Are you a Mandalorian? Yeah. That's my Giancarlo. Yeah.
We just need to stop looking at people who are like in their fucking 60s and 70s as being viable options to play these characters for 15 years. Like,
Man, that's the best tie-in to Indiana Jones #5 I've ever heard, Brandon.
You're welcome, or as I like to call it, Indiana Jones and the Legend of the Replaced Hip.
Did you guys look for a teaser trailer? Because after you mentioned
Oh
it,
my
I
God.
did. They are all fake. Every single one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
I can imagine.
Is that from the movie Polar with Mad Mikkelsen?
Jesus Christ.
I'm like, what? I'm like, that's clearly from the last one.
Yeah, I guess they showed a D23 specific trailer for the crowd that was there, and Harrison Ford, took the stage. And he's like, "We got a really human story to tell you. I think you kids are really gonna like it, and this is it for me." Oh yeah, we kind of figured. You're like 82. You stop. You stop right now.
Freeze them in carbonite.
Yeah. Although I did get a kick out of the fact that just sort of tangentially related, because that's really all the news there was from Indiana Jones 5. They showed a trailer. Harrison Ford said, "Yeah, and this is it for me." Phoebe Waller-Bridge was like the best part of being in this movie for me. She was amazing. There you go.
Short Round was there.
But I was gonna say,
He was there for something else though.
who played Short Round in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, as well as Data in The Goonies.
Yep.
He also played what was it, Waylon? My God, I can't remember the character's first name. It was like Waylon in Everything Everywhere All of the Time.
Oh my God, that's such a good movie.
Which is important because it's a movie that just deftly tells a multiversal story. It's just awesome and weird and badass and touching. And he got cast from being in that, the first project he's had in almost 2 decades, to being cast in Loki season 2, which is of course going to deal with all kinds of aspects of the multiverse. When he took the stage at D23 though, he was like, "Wait a minute. I thought this was the Indiana Jones panel." Fucking brilliant. Absolutely outstanding. I wish I had seen that for myself. I'd have been like, "Yep, you know what? I don't even need to see anything else. I'm going home. I'm good." But yeah, so that's pretty cool bit of casting. I don't know what character he's going to play or anything like that, but he was absolutely superb in that movie. And Justin, you said you hadn't seen it. Have you seen it, Yo-Yo?
Unfortunately, no. That's on
All
my
right,
list.
you guys should get on that. It's like for real. Like it's a good flick.
That was on the list of movies I wanted to see, but then I was like, I gotta go into movie theaters, and people keep coughing. And
Oh yeah, no, it's on Pluther though, so you give it a look. See, my friend.
I think I opted to watch The Samaritan instead. Yes,
I didn't.
It's exactly like you think it is. After watching the preview, you can pretty much exactly determine what the movie is exactly.
That's why I didn't watch the movie.
You should have.
I mean, I'll get to it.
I started watching it. I think I got like 20 minutes into it when I shut it off.
It's worth it for like the bad guys, and it seems like you're watching RoboCop for a while. So I kind of pretended instead of the Samaritan, he was RoboCop, and I liked the movie better. So go watch RoboCop.
Day one more move, I'll shoot you in the dick. It was like, hey,
what? Oh, I sneezed.
Hey, aren't you an old superhero? No, I'm not an old superhero. Wait a minute, didn't you just not get hurt when that thing should hurt you? Okay, I'm an old superhero, but I don't want to save people no more. Oh no, but people need to be saved, and you have the powers to do that, old superhero. All right, fine. I'll save the people with my superpowers because I'm an old superhero. But after that, this is it. I just want people to leave me alone. Let me live my life. Did I pretty much nail most of the movie right there?
Yeah. Except you forgot he has a brother that is a super villain.
Yep.
Oh,
and what was his name? Huron Greyjoy from the last season of Game of Thrones was the bad guy. Yeah, Judge Dredd was better. Because that Rob Schneider in it.
Oh man, that's
you know what's better than Judge Dredd?
That's
Demolition Man. So
my arch nemesis is my brother. There we go.
Right.
Now we got it.
It'd be great if it was.
I'm sorry. You're what? My arch nemesis. Say it again. Arch nemesis. Well, the way I talk is the way I talk. I'll punch you sometimes.
Well, so you know what you need to do is you need to get keep your Stallone in practice.
Keep it in practice. I'm fucking 40, bro. I've been able to do this since I was like 13. The piece of shit Rob Schneider is what fucking like broke that door open for me when I saw Judge Dredd. And he was just like, Mr. Law. And I was like, oh, that's how I do it. That's how I do I got it. All right. I got you now. And then my voice deepened. It became a lot easier to do, It's not about how hard you hit. It's about how you can get it.
All I know is I still don't know what the shells are for.
Oh man, do any of us really?
Wow, this whole crowd must be well over 30. Thanks for watching, fellas.
Yeah.
You've tuned into the Over the Hill Gang.
A little bit of trivia. Did you know? Speaking of Stallone, the theme song from Transformers. One of the songs from maybe it was a theme song.
The Stan Bush one?
Yeah, the Stan Bush one. That was actually supposed to be for Cobra.
That would be a weird one.
Did you know that the movie Cobra was actually split into two different scripts, and they took all of the more comedic aspects of it and made it into a completely different movie starring a completely different individual than Sylvester Stallone?
Wow.
Really?
That movie was Beverly Hills Cop.
Holy shit.
The main cop character was supposed to be a gearhead, really into cars. But they kept the name for the character and put it into Beverly Hills Cop. What's his name? Axel Foley. Yeah. I found that out when I was
think of the animated Clerk series. Axel, all right.
Yeah, I found that out when I was like 19. I was like,
wow,
what? That can't be real. And no, it is. They split it up into two flicks, and the action heavy stuff was the movie that Stallone wanted to make, and all the other stuff kind of like got swept, and they're like, we have almost a full script here. Like, let's do something with it. And it turned into Beverly Hills Cop.
But did he want to make Nighthawks? I don't know. You ever seen that? That's a great one.
I don't know. Did he want to make Stop or My Mom Will Shoot?
Yes, he did.
Stop or My Mom Will Shoot.
Listen here. I got a gun.
Shoot me in the head. I'm over the barrel on this Planet Hollywood thing.
Yes.
Well, I was gonna say he has a new series coming out.
Yeah,
Tulsa King.
Yeah, where he plays a mob boss or something like that.
Oh, a bit of a stretch for him. Huh?
Damn it! Took the words right out of my mouth.
Gotta be fast.
Be quicker than that. It's called a quip and not a slope.
Okay, so what else? Do we have everything from D23?
No, man. No fucking way, Jose. No. First of all, Andor, the trailer was released. So that was a thing. Next subject.
Hey. It looks good.
I don't give a fuck about either or, all right? He can fucking cram it with walnuts.
Okay.
We're getting a prequel to a fucking prequel at this point? Come on.
Yes.
Why are people interested in this story is my question. And I get it if you like Star Wars, but then you secretly hate Star Wars like most Star Wars fans. I mean, that's like, I'm a Star Trek fan, and I am just scratching my head on why people want to see rehash of this. You know how it plays out. You're like, oh, well, it's going to be really interesting seeing this character. Oh, this compelling character that was on screen for a half hour that I still don't care about. Good luck. So I'm not watching this show. I don't care. I'm not the target audience. Maybe it'll give people some, what was his name? Saul Guerrera. It'll give people some closure on him. Be like, oh, I wonder how he becomes all like raspy and like weird. It's
yeah,
like,
because that was a question I needed fucking answered while watching Rouge One.
Yeah. I mean, there's one good part of that movie for me, and that's the end in the dark where it becomes a horror film. And then you see that red lightsaber come up, and you're like, oh,
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but
cool.
I don't know, Leo. Like, what's the appeal to Andor? Is my question.
It's good Star Wars. Sorry.
Exactly. I enjoyed Mandalorian. I enjoyed Boba Fett. I'm willing to give it a shot. It's.
So you're just happy to have like more in the lore.
I'm interested for there to be more story. I'm interested for them to, keep on trying different things rather than, just making the same movie, 3 times.
Is this different things though? Like, is Andor...
It's supposed to be like espionage and like stuff like that. So
it's fun watching an espionage tale where you already know that the character is going to die because a planet explodes when he's on it.
Well, in the future, we don't really have any Jedi in this, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
That's okay.
I don't know, but that's the whole thing. You could have like an Ahsoka show up or something like that, like a cameo from her. And they're doing was it 4 shorts like the Jedi Tales or something like that?
Yeah,
that looks really good. Like they're taking some. You're talking about different stories there, Brandon. They're having a whole story about the origin of Count Dooku, played by Christopher Lee. That is interesting to me.
I was infinitely more interested in Tales of the Jedi.
Yeah,
when I saw the trailer, and then I realized that they're shorts. That was fine by me.
Yeah,
that was really what made it okay. I'm like, this is so fucking much. There is no goddamn way. Oh, shorts? All right, I can handle that. They're probably like 9 minutes.
I feel the same way. It's like eating a really like too sweet candy bar or something like that, and you're like, too much. Okay, just a little,
Yeah. Can you just break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar? Thank you.
What you might call it?
What's it? I actually think that's a new one that they made recently.
Nutrageous.
Hey, I just
Nutrageous really bothers me, man, because that word implies the existence of nut rage, and I want to know who's using it.
You guys want to take this one?
I need to know the context in which one uses the word nut rage. I have a feeling it's a lot of 17-year-old boys.
Isn't that a Star Wars term, nut rage?
Nut rage.
I was gonna say I just had my payday so that I can give you the $20 I owe you.
Totally nuts about payday.
It's the best.
What was that?
Yeah, so Andor, it's Star Wars, so that's
the thing. I didn't bother watching that trailer. I did see the one.
I don't blame you, man, because I don't blame you.
You know what you missed, Yo-Yo? Absolutely nothing. Thank you.
Yo-Yo, was there something you saw at D23 that you're really hyped about?
Little Mermaid.
There we go.
I was wondering if you guys are going to bring that up because honestly, I'm excited. So, and I think normally these things don't look so great. I'm excited for this one.
Yeah,
I am like very pumped. First of all, that young woman, her voice is absolutely beautiful. Just in a little bit that they showcased in the trailer, and she's adorable. She's a cute kid. I'm really curious to see how the whole thing plays out. Honestly, and when I say I'm curious to see it, it's only because I haven't been super impressed with a lot of Disney's live action renditions of their classic cartoons.
Yep.
They've for me personally, they've been kind of lackluster, but this is honestly one of the more fantastical ones that they've attacked right off the bat. Like, you cannot get around the fact that Ariel is a mermaid living under the sea with her dad, King Triton, running her life. You can't really circumvent those circumstances or play tricks and what have you. You have to just embrace that this is the world. You can only bring it so far to a realistic point before you strain all credulity. This I think could end up being like one of the first really good live action renditions they've done.
I liked Aladdin. I mean,
Eh.
it's a little
Yeah.
bit different than the other one, but after seeing the stage show and all that, it's very similar to the stage show, and I thought it was good.
They should have got the guy from the stage show. Who
I
plays the
agree.
genie. Sorry.
No, I do agree with that, but like
Like,
most
he
things
does an
with Will
amazing
Smith
job.
in them, Will Smith was not the worst thing about the film.
Oh,
and-
I don't know that I don't blame Will Smith for that movie. It's just for me. I think part of what the issue is with
it's a Guy Ritchie film too.
the
Can you
the
believe that?
live action stuff that they've been doing is it just doesn't. It feels soulless.
I agree. Hollow. Yeah.
There's no real heart to it, and I think part of that is because they've taken like essentially what they calculate as risk out of the formula for making these movies. Like, oh, look, we're taking one of our most popular cartoons and we're going to throw a bunch of money at it and make it into a big live action movie. It's like, and, we're going to slap Disney right on the front of it. Okay, you guys are going to make your money back and then some, obviously. Like,
You're like,
there's
we'll put
nothing
James
they have to
Corden
worry
in
about.
it.
Thanks. Thank you so much. That's the one thing we all agree was missing from the cartoon.
Well, the one thing that was kind of crazy about that rendition, though, was when the genie went up and slapped Jafar and told him to keep his monkey out of his mouth.
Because all that time, Will Smith was just planning and waiting to do
Oh,
it.
okay.
On the off chance
Wow.
that he made an unknowing comment about his wife's alopecia when he simply thought it was a haircut. Yeah,
I bet he wished
that
he hadn't
tracks.
done that. It's I was just looking at the comments that are coming in and all that, and one of them was just mentioning on how Aladdin sucked, they didn't like it, and one of them was mentioning about Beauty and the Beast. I'm on the other end of this because I absolutely loved Aladdin because I saw the stage show and like I seeing it on Broadway and all that, and I'm like, it's actually pretty similar to that, and that was like really great effects for a show. But with the Beauty and the Beast, I actually like that one a lot less. But I also have to admit, these movies, like Brandon's saying, are going to make money because you're going to take your kids to see them, and there's nothing else around until they make another Minions movie. So it is exactly like I said, it's like money in the bank. But they're also probably not for us. So it's one of those things where it's like I could say it sucks all day, but it's like realistically, I'm not buying a ticket.
But I mean, even insofar as like what some of these things present to the kids, like the visuals, and I'm not talking about like, oh, think of the children. No, I'm not Maud Flanders-ing it up here. It's or not Maud, Helen Lovejoy, my mistake. It's the fact that like if you look at The Lion King, the cartoon, and the quote live action movie, because I mean that was still fucking computer generated imaging too, just a fancier cartoon. If you put side by side certain scenes, like when Simba sees that his father is getting killed or was just killed, in the cartoon, expressive. Simba is devastated before he runs in fear. Okay, you see that. In the live action version, they did nothing at all whatsoever to show any kind of expression on any of these animals' faces. So he's literally just a lion cub just standing there. And then he runs off. It's lame. It's just not very expressive. And that loses something because I understand you're keeping them as animals and what have you, but you gotta kind of anthropomorphize them a little bit. Otherwise, you just get blank canvases in front of you.
Yeah, I agree with that, and that's one of the reasons I've never watched it. It doesn't have an appeal to me, and I don't want to watch the same thing. Like we were talking about this with Dark Phoenix, I don't want to watch the same story over and over. And if Lion King is an exact literal translation, what's the point? Because they have Billy Eichner instead of Mr. Bean. I'm like, come on.
I will say this straight out though. If they do like a pretty faithful adaptation all the way through of The Little Mermaid, I will be pleased. Is that movie, like, I had to watch numerous times as a child because I had a little sister, and
I love it. I mean, it's my favorite of the animated Disney movies.
It's actually I hated it as a kid, but like, growing up, I've watched it since, and I'm like, oh, this is actually like pretty decent aside from like some of the horrible messaging that they're giving to young women across the board here. But it really is an entertaining movie for for real, and some of the best music altogether. So let's see how they do.
It's funny too. If you listen to like some other Alan Menken stuff, like Little Shop of Horrors, you can see where somewhere up there and somewhere that's green. He's kind of like clipped a little of his own work. So it's kind of funny. But I know we're the ones into musicals. We're probably not here to talk about musicals and all that. But
no, they aren't. Yeah. We are.
Werewolf by Night.
I was gonna say Werewolf by Night. That looks really cool.
Maybe tie into Moon Knight.
Maybe. I mean, it is kind of funny because Moon Knight's first appearance was in an issue of Werewolf by Night. I think it might have been number 38. I want to say, or maybe 28, something like that.
Quick, somebody find a Moon Knight fan.
Good luck.
they reference on issue 23.
Maybe that's what it is
in Moon Knight.
Okay, maybe that's what it is. 23.
I love that. Love it. It says, "I love a man that loves Disney." Absolutely. There's so much to love.
So does my wife.
The stuff they have. But yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing. That's a lot of us were raised on that stuff. Like, I usually talk with my kids about how there was like a Nick kid or there was like a Disney Channel kid and all that, and even before that, like we didn't have that stuff.
Yeah, I was more of a Looney Tunes kid, but I mean, I also watched a lot of Disney, like straight up. I mean, the Disney Channel was on in my house all the time. That's, I mean, as most of us remember, back when the Disney Channel was a cable station that had no commercials and just played all day. Those were the good days. Those were the halcyon days.
They had really good bumpers and all that in between. Like they didn't have commercials, but they'd have like one of the things I remember, because I'm like a big fan of the band Yes. They had Owner of a Lonely Heart with like Mickey Mouse and all that. And that was the one thing that like stuck with me from those eras. I'm like, oh, I just finished watching Dumbo Circus and now this is on. Yeah, DuckTales.
DuckTales, yeah. DuckTales was Disney Afternoon.
Yeah.
So that actually wasn't the Disney Channel straight through. That was paired up with like Goof Troop and Bonkers and Darkwing
Bonkers
Duck.
was a Saturday morning with Marcel.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I know that Bonkers was actually supposed to take place in
nerds.
Toontown as a continuation of Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Oh, that would be cool.
By the way, it was Werewolf by Night number 32.
Cool.
Oh, 30. Oh, I had it
If you split the difference between the two of yours, you would have had it correctly.
Yeah, totally.
Don't do the math. It's all.
Kind of. I mean, I was closer, but whatever.
DuckTales. Shout out to Retro Redoctopus, right, on the Dorkening Network. Had a whole episode on best rebooted TV series, and they talked about DuckTales. That was Parasite Steve's DuckTales reboot series where they had David Tennant playing Scrooge McDuck. Amazing show.
Oh yeah,
highly recommend it.
I still need to finish that.
I actually started it too, and I think I made it like 6 or 7 episodes in. And I just got pulled away. Not that I was disinterested. Just
you'll get back to it. It's always going to be there.
For real.
Well, it's time because I also started Gravity Falls, but haven't had a chance to really.
I mean, my life, much like Duckburg, is often a hurricane.
We did just start watching Freaks and Geeks.
Nice.
Oh, cool. You're only what 23 years late on that one? Cool, man. So I look forward to your assessment of DuckTales in 2045.
I love anything with Joe Flannery in it.
What about Joe Flannery?
I love Freaks and Geeks,
Oh yeah, I mean, who doesn't?
Back to the Future, right? The last way. Are you Marty McFly?
You Marty McFly?
The movie Stripes. There's all kinds of things. But
SCTV, just generally.
Count Floyd.
Count Floyd. The Misadventures of Ed Grimley.
Yeah. Oh, I must say.
myself. I must say.
I swear, yeah. We just set each other off.
I swear. This is pretty good, but we could use a little paprika.
I'm going muzzle.
It's
Sorry,
like
gang.
somebody.
All right.
It's like somebody set off a series of dominoes.
Yeah.
We're getting Man Thing.
Yes, Man Thing looks like they will be appearing in Werewolf by Night, which, as I was saying, the way that it's shot, it's the whole thing black and white. It's very much harkening back to the Universal horror movies, the classic monster movies that they did. That was the first thing I thought of when I saw how they made it look like an old time like trailer for a monster movie. It looks like we're getting Jack Russell as the main character of Werewolf by Night, which is always a name that I thought was monumentally fucking goofy. Because I mean, like, really, you named your fucking wolf character Jack Russell, like the Terrier, but who is it? I think Marv.
Was it the other one, Jonathan Jameson or something? Or
I think no, that was Man Wolf.
Man, okay, all right.
That's Man Wolf. Yeah. Let me see here. I looked up some stuff. Roy Thomas. Blah 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 blah. Jerry Conway. All right, Jerry Conway. Go figure. He said he had no idea of what a Jack Russell Terrier was. He was like, I had never even heard of that until I created the character. So sorry, happy accident, I guess. But with the character of Jack Russell, he is the American descendant of the Russian family, the Rusovs, which was a long line of occultists. And one of the Rusovs, Gregor, was cursed with lycanthropy, turning into a werewolf after he screwed around with the magic of the Darkhold, the same tome of forbidden magic seen in WandaVision and Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
This is brilliant. That is a brilliant stroke to bring them in then.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're really... It's great to see that they're doing this because it shows that they're turning towards that Marvel horror, which they've kind of been trying to seed behind the scenes for a while.
This is listed as a horror comedy.
Yeah, because it's still a Marvel project.
Yeah.
I mean,
they're not going to go. Who else is associated with this besides? Was it Gael Garcia? Is it?
I'm not quite sure who else is in it, to be perfectly honest. I'm not trying to dive too deep into it. I'm gonna let it be fun in front of my face.
Yeah, and just so everybody knows, it comes out October 7th, and it's a special 1-hour episode.
Cool.
And I was also reading, so Jack Russell's family, they made a copy of the Darkhold.
Aha.
Handwritten or just photocopy?
This is like the 90s where everybody had that copy of the Anarchist Cookbook, right? It's like
it's suffering from like seventh degree generational loss. So you get like a real like Ash in Army of Darkness recitation of spells and Klaatu Verata necktie. All right.
And he wears green striped socks.
I'm gonna say a string of words that probably nobody's gonna understand. I hosted that on my BBS in the early 90s.
I mean, I understood what you said.
I too love Korean pop music.
Yes, I also like Earl Grey tea. What?
I swear that was like the Anarchist Cookbook was like on every BBS you went to. That was like,
that was everywhere.
Yeah.
We used to have those. I mean, not me because I wouldn't do that, but there was people who used to sell the little floppy disks and all that, where you could go and then load it in and you have like kind of printed out in the dot matrix printer where you had to take the stuff off the side. Good times.
Just to instruct the younger viewers, a BBS is otherwise known as a bulletin board system. It was something that existed before the internet. See, if you knew like the cool guy at Sears, he would give you a phone number that you type in for your modem, and you connect to somebody's computer, and they'd have a list of files that you can get.
See, a modem was like a cradle for your phone that you would have to put it in.
Was that Prodigy, Leo? Was that what that was?
Even before
Prodigy?
well, no, it was
For anybody that's still confused by what
before
Leo
Prodigy.
said.
Before
Is
Prodigy.
that a
B-
Unix
a
bug?
BBS, it was Reddit. Okay, that's what a BBS was. It was fucking Reddit.
That's fair.
They took the idea of a BBS after all these years of interwebbing, and they're like, wait a minute, why don't we just make a website that's nothing but a bunch of fucking BBSs? And they called them Reddits and subreddits. That's the same thing. Am I wrong?
No.
Essentially.
No.
Yeah.
Except some
shut up,
BBS.
Leo.
Nerd by night. Under
No,
the
it's a-
cover of darkness, he becomes a nerd.
Werewolf by night, computer programming nerd by day.
You need to unplug it before you reboot.
Did you turn it off and then on again?
Have you tried turning it on and off again? Are you from the past?
It needs a firmware update.
It feels firm to me, though.
Oh man, the one thing we haven't talked about. I want to talk to you guys about the one that I am the most excited about, and that is Willow. Right, so another Lucasfilms property, Willow Offgood, many years down the road. Ironically, this story could be based on the book that was written by Chris Claremont, who wrote The Dark Phoenix, because he actually wrote the sequel to Willow. So now getting to see everything like 30, 40 years later, this is the one thing from D23 I was the most excited about. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Yep, thanks, man. So anyway, next topic. I don't have
nobody
much
else likes Willow.
I have not much to say about Willow, honestly. I watched it several times as a kid. I had it on tape. Did
you play the NES game?
Maybe
it was awful.
Maybe that's why I don't have any real recollections of it then.
No.
It's just not something. I was so not a swords and sorcery kid at all growing up. Like it was so few and far between for me.
I can see that because you're not really into Masters of the Universe too. Like doesn't seem.
I loved He-Man as a kid.
Okay,
I absolutely did as a little kid.
Sorry for generalizing. Yeah.
No, that's fine. And I actually do think there's some good ideas, but part of that too is like that's like you have like a techno sorcery thing going on there too. It's not just it's got a little bit more of a sci-fi feel to it than just out and out, wizards and swords and shit. But like I said, few and far between, because I mean I loved the movie Excalibur growing up. I loved Lady Hawk growing up.
Yeah.
The Princess Bride is one of my all-time favorite movies. Yeah, I'll even go into the way back machine. I loved The Court Jester starring Danny Kaye growing up. Like that's an old ass fucking movie. It's actually pretty good if you get a chance to check it out. But
The Vessel with the Pestle as the flag in the Yeah. Okay, nobody got that one. That's all right.
Yeah.
It's the second time we've done that bit too.
The pellet that is poisons in the chalice from the palace, but the vessel with the pestle has the brew that is true. Oh no, we broke the chalice from the palace. Now the pellet with the poisons in the vessel with the pestle. Sorry. All right, I'll stop.
What's that from? Horn. I learned
it's from The Court Jester, starring Danny Kaye. Yeah,
it's great. It's really great.
It's a really good comedy. It's
your mom loves it.
Angela Lansbury is in it when she's like young. It's fucking crazy. So was Glynis Johns, the woman who played the mother in Mary Poppins.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually it's a pretty decent flick. I can't help but think that William Goldman grew up as a fan of that movie, and he had it somewhere in the back of his mind when he wrote the book, The Princess Bride.
I can
Like,
imagine that. I
yeah.
mean, or definitely the Adventures of Robin Hood and like that thing.
I mean, they were definitely playing up the Errol Flynn kind of stuff with the Court Jester, but that's part of the fun of it, is because it wasn't taking itself seriously at all. It's not a spoof movie, but it had a sense of humor about itself. I'll say it's real. It is really good though. It's a fun 52 flick, I think. But that's neither here nor there. Willow, I think I appreciated it just as like, okay, this is a movie that's on Disney, because it was another one of those ones that was on Disney Channel pretty frequently. I saw Willow and the 2 Ewok movies like pretty frequently on the Disney Channel.
Yeah, Caravan of Courage and Battle for Endor.
Battle for Endor, yep. And that's kind of like where it led. I was more interested to watch like the Monster Squad than Willow.
Maybe something a bit more contemporary for you then?
Maybe. I mean, it really depends. I'm like the wind, man. I'm mysterious. I move about my own patterns.
All right, he's like the wind,
Well, I'm there.
Yeah,
with
sometimes I'm hot and smelly, especially if I've just been to New Jersey.
Justin, I'm there with you. I'm excited for Willow more than like I tried the new Lord of the Rings show, couldn't get into it.
Really? I'm loving that.
Well, I mean, I think it's too similar. Like we're also watching Game of Thrones, or House of the Dragon.
Oh, I'm watching.
You mean
that.
Hot D?
Yeah, Hot D. Yeah,
dude. I watched. What's the other one? Wheel of Time. I watch anything. I'm like, give me more. Give me more. And some of this stuff not good. But
hurt me, streaming daddy, hurt me. What?
Some of the stuff is not good. It's like I even go back to like the NBC Merlin with like oh God, Alan Grant,
Sam
Neill, right? So good old Sam Neill, but because he's Event Horizon poster back there, folks. But
no, really, I thought Sam Neill was behind you.
Yeah, no, I just I'm excited for it. Willow's gonna be good.
Yo, what do you think about Willow?
Ambivalent towards it.
He doesn't think about Willow, gang. All right. Question asked, question answered. I don't. Succinct as ever, Yo.
That's totally fair, though. I mean, that's the thing too. Like, I feel that way. Like, even less towards like Andor, but it's like it seems like they're hitting everybody in these fandoms where they live. If you like Star Wars, we got something for you. If you like superheroes, we have something for you. If you like horror, we got you. If you like animation, we got you. If you like,
what
movie,
if I like good versions,
like Suicide Squad?
Where do I go for that?
Disney Plus, of course. Yeah,
I'm mocking the quality of their projects.
Well, I mean, they could go the Netflix route and put all of this stuff into it and then cancel it, or better yet,
Resident
Hulu
Evil.
or
that could be fun.
Did you guys hear that they already canceled Paper Girls? They're not going to renew it.
I did not.
Yeah, they're not going to renew Paper Girls, which is a travesty. And it's the second time this has happened to a Brian K. Vaughan property. It's crazy.
It's why I stopped watching Why the Last Man by like episode 6. I'm like, why bother watching the last 3 episodes or whatever? I know it's canceled.
Dude, and
it sucks because I thought the show was like superbly done.
It's so good. It might be one of the best adaptations from the source material ever.
I gotta tell you, man, like I was very confused initially, just going from the source material, seeing Amber Tamblin's character in it, like just trying to make heads and tails of who the fuck she was supposed to be, and seeing how she's a stand-in for a lot of people in
Karen
the country
culture.
now. Yeah, that's okay. That's probably a good way to put it.
Is that a thing? Did I just
very diplomatic way to put it?
Yeah.
And how at first I was taken aback just from like a nerd standpoint, but then I was like, all right, well, so far everything else for characterization and writing in the show has been like spot on, so maybe I should trust them. And I started easing into it, and then it got to the point where by like that last episode I watched, I didn't know whether or not I wanted to like give that girl just like a giant bear hug and say, please stop, please, like everything will be okay. You just have to stop seeing everyone else as an enemy. Torn between that and wanting to just flat out punch her in the fucking mouth. Like she did such a good job of making you feel bad for and hate that character simultaneously.
And you can see how she rose to power and everything, and it's like everything makes sense. Like this is such a natural progression, and
and also
it's a shame.
It has the incomparable Diane Lane in the show. Like, oh, I love Diane Lane. Always have, always will. My wife like tried to mock like guys who were like Diane Lane's beautiful and blah 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 blah, blah like several years ago, and probably like kind of expected me to be like, yeah, what a bunch of chodes, right? Just get over it. She was in a movie, blah blah blah.
That's a fun word.
And she was like, and I was like, what? Oh no, I'm not a part of this. I've loved her longer than I've known you. And she was like, oh,
so you wouldn't be unfaithful?
That movie is terrible. It is deeply awful. It is not good.
Yeah. Which movie?
Unfaithful.
Unfaithful.
Starring Diane Lane
and Richard Gere.
Yep.
Like
I actually liked him.
Richard, I never take it out of first gear.
Richard, I got no place left to go. Gear.
So this is gonna make no connection whatsoever. But when you
par
said,
for the course.
I know. When you said Diane Lane, that kicked in. I for some.
Why did you say that name?
I knew it was coming.
No. When you said it, the way you said it, instantly kicked in Die Hard.
Yeah,
I get it. I get it.
Yeah, I get it. I mean,
he did lead by saying this is going to make no sense.
Yeah,
the first word begins with a D. The second word ends in an E.
Well, did any of you watch this week's Rick and Morty?
No.
No.
Did it mention Die Hard?
Oh, the whole episode is Die Hard.
Oh, cool.
It is.
Watch that.
Oh, it is so awesome. Apparently,
I watched it and I'm like racking my brains. I'm like, the fuck happened in it?
Well, Morty is trapped in the Roy video game. Rick is trying to get him
I didn't see it. Fuck.
Oh, so they're at like the space mall, and so yeah, they're stuck in the video game. And what's the daughter's name?
Summer.
Rick tells Summer that you need to keep us safe. Because the mall is being robbed.
We kind of buried the fucking lead on that one, Leo.
Mall's being robbed by a group of terrorists, and one of them sounds very.
He sounds like this.
Exactly.
Yes.
So anyway,
motherfucker.
So Summer asks Rick, what do I need to do? What do I got to do? And he says, just die hard this shit. So she is contemplating, like, what the hell is Die Hard? She'd never seen it. And so she ends up killing one of the terrorists.
Home Alone this shit!
She's just shooting everything, yelling Die Hard throughout the whole thing. Die Hard, Die Hard.
It sounds like a better Die Hard sequel than the last fucking 3 we got. So,
and yet we never got that Demolition Man sequel.
No. So apparently, in the Rick and Morty universe, Die Hard is like a religion throughout the universe.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's frightening.
Yeah. So the it's quite funny. Definitely check it out. I think it's
I can't. There's so many things that we've been trying to keep track of, and that one just slipped right through the fucking cracks. I can't believe it. We're usually much better about that, especially with this show coming up each week. God damn it. Oh man.
Also, it's okay. I know it's hard to find,
Yeah. So that's on the Cartoon Network, you say?
Is it? It's probably an HBO.
An entire network dedicated to cartoons? Preposterous.
Well, it is based off of a cartoon character. where you might find it.
Ooh, what? What character?
Where are we going here?
He is follically challenged. He's looking for a green rock.
Lex Luthor?
Pluthor.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. I mean, I was being purposely obtuse. I know that it's on fucking Adult Swim. Like, I get it. I was just being an ass.
I didn't know.
What was that?
Sunday nights on Adult Swim?
Sunday nights, yeah. Which apparently I completely forgot up until about fucking 2 minutes ago.
Are you guys as glad as I am that tomorrow's Thursday and we get a new She-Hulk?
Yes, absolutely.
I am enjoying the heck out of this show.
Me too, man. I mean, I like Tatiana Maslany anyway.
Yeah, you called that from the beginning because you said that you liked her in, what was it, Black Mirror?
Orphan Black.
Orphan Black, that's what it was.
Yeah, I like way back.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yo-Yo's into it too, man.
Wow.
Bring it up.
Yeah, you gotta show that.
Hold on. Is that one? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not paying attention. I'm trying to find another one.
That's game, Hendrix.
Hold on. There we go.
You have the Sarah Manning. Very nice.
I have some more on the shelf too, but
the other 21 characters she plays.
Is it kind of like Alias then?
No.
I've also never seen Alias, guys. So
okay, is that like Alias insofar as the fact that they were both television programs?
Yeah, I mean, and that's like using the logic that something is either a potato or not a potato, so therefore it is.
Yep. Everything's binary, no in betweens. But
yes, no,
yes, no. End of conversation. But no, Orphan Black is amazing, and I don't want to even say too much if you haven't seen it, because honestly, like,
you need to see it.
You need to see it. It's
that's fair.
Surprisingly fucking good, and they ended it on their
Andor.
terms. They didn't get canceled. They were like, nope, this is the end of the story. Where we've reached it. Here it is. And I was like, yes, thank you for that. Perfect.
Sweet.
Another fine product brought to you by BBC America, where they actually know how to fucking end a story and not
it's a
drag it out.
BBC show.
Oh yeah, BBC America.
Nice.
It essentially takes place in Canada, but they keep it so region non-specific when they shoot the show that you could easily place it in like Portland or something like that. You know what I mean? It's North American. So you don't have that weird semi-cultural shift if you're watching like a British drama, but you're here in America, that kind of thing. But yeah, she showed exactly what a fucking acting powerhouse she is in that show. And she should have been winning Emmys for it since the end of the first season. And she finally won an Emmy in the last season. 5 years.
Does she have Henry Winkler beat then?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it takes much to beat Henry Winkler, but I'm not sure. How many years? Anyway, if not beat, close. You know, yeah, that dude got dicked over.
Yeah,
right, pretty bad.
You hit on something, pretty striking there, Brandon.
Thank you.
BBC.
Her name is Dara, and she's my wife. I'm allowed.
Hey, baby, do you like Diane Lane movies?
Oh, nice callback.
Fuck, that was good.
So BBC shows really know how to complete the story. For the most part, they don't go on and on and on and on. Unless it's certain comedy shows. But like IT Crowd ended at a perfect time. But then some shows where they were too successful and they try to bring them back just don't. It like you can never go home again. Some of these shows like Doc Martin. Doc Martin had an awesome run, and then they took 10 years off and decided to come back, and it just, the stories just were totally off.
That's a beloved show too. Like
Yeah,
Doc
Doc-
Martin is
oh.
like people don't speak ill about Doc Martin, except for maybe
Unless you're
those
talking
last-
about when it came back, apparently, because
Yeah.
then all
Yeah.
the gloves are off and you can say whatever the fuck you want about that piece of shit revival they did. I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'm just putting words in my own mouth. Sorry, gang. Well, yeah, no, I mean, there's something to it. They know when to pull the plug at BBC, and sometimes the stuff that they put out there just doesn't click. I mean, they had a show on BBC America that we found out about because we watched Orphan Black every week, starring, oh my God, Gary, blah, 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 the guy who played the Master at the beginning of the Doctor Who revival with Christopher Eccleston.
Jeez.
Yeah, he plays the main character in this, and it also takes place in like North America. And it has to do with like reincarnation and like switching bodies. So like you get a younger body and you put your soul into it and you basically force out the other person's soul.
Oh, that's like that altered what was that they had on Netflix for a while?
Altered States.
Yeah.
Altered Carbon.
Altered Carbon, yeah.
All right, Altered States is the William Hurt movie. Kind of, but this is more occult, and it's the first thing that I ever saw Millie Bobby Brown in. This was a couple years before Stranger Things, and she's just this like itty bitty little thing in it. But the bad guy of the show kidnaps this small girl and does his reincarnation soul pushing mumbo jumbo and becomes this little girl. And so now
powers, huh?
Well, it's not so much about powers. It's just that he's really, 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 really old. Like this has been going on for centuries, and it's a society, and they take over people's lives and what have you. And all of a sudden, like Millie Bobby Brown is this like centuries-year-old dude inside of this like 8-year-old girl's body, and she's still trying to run shit. I mean, she was great in it. She was memorable because when I saw her in Stranger Things, I was like, hey, that's that Millie Bobby Brown girl, like right off the bat. But she had this one line in the show that the guy always said, and it's what goes around comes around, because that's what everything is. It's cyclical. But coming out of her, she's like, what goes around comes around. I'm like, you're adorable. I just want to pinch those little cheeks. Oh, who's a psychopathic murderer? Who's a centuries-old psychopathic murderer? Yes, you are.
That makes me think of the Trill from Star Trek. You know, your DS9, going back to that one. You know, with Jadzia Dax and Curzon Dax, and then Dax.
No symbiosis here, though. Unfortunately, it's all just about domination and taking somebody else's life.
Oh yeah, yours sounds like Psyche, rather than that, like an alien presence. That's interesting.
It was also like the return of Mira Sorvino in that show too, and she was rusty, and that didn't help the show much. And they
remember when she was everywhere, like after Species, or not Species, was it the Mimic or Mimic? Yeah, so like Mimic and like, was it Untamed Heart and all that? And you're like, oh, I like this Mira
Mighty
Sorvino.
Aphrodite, man.
Mighty Aphrodite. That was the next one, the Woody Allen one. You're like,
yep.
Who is this actress that could probably use some acting lessons? Yeah,
yeah. She
sure is pretty.
She had just been out of the swing of things. I've seen her in stuff since, and it's like, okay, yeah, she was working the rust off the old machinery there.
Was she in Son of Sam?
Yeah, she was.
Yeah, she was in Son of Sam. Wow.
Jeez, wow.
Uncut Gems tonight with Mira Sorvino. Like, wow.
Holy shit.
I hadn't thought about that.
I mean, if we're gonna say the stuff that she's in, I mean, Romeo and Michelle's high school reunion.
Yeah, I mean, you want to talk about her magnum opus? Then yeah. I mean,
yeah, it's the zenith right there, kids, the pinnacle.
And how do you
all
say it?
downhill?
Do you say Kudrow or Kudrow? How do you say it?
I say Kudrow.
Okay, I say Kudrow.
Okay, are we fighting now? I don't know what the fuck just
Are you
happened.
angry?
Like, yeah, are you mad at me because I say it like that? Like, I couldn't be more ambivalent about this.
I think you could.
I'll try not to lose any more hair over it, okay?
But how do you feel about the pronunciation of Mephisto?
Yes.
I feel like anybody who says it like that is a fucking gooch looking cock smoker. You know you're saying it wrong, dude. It's Mephisto. Mephisto.
Sounds like Mario is saying it in an N64 game. Mephisto.
I look more like Wario right now, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, Mephisto, short for Mephistopheles. This is not rocket science.
So you mentioned an orphan. Orphan Black. What about an orphan that from Kansas?
The girl that survived in cold blood by Truman Capote? I'm just no one survived. It was a bloodbath and slaughter.
So we have Superman? We have some Superman news. You had on the list, and then so they announced Jonathan Kent's actor.
That is correct. They announced that a new actor will be taking over for the role of Jonathan Kent. He is an Australian actor.
Can't hear you.
I think he just paused it for a second.
So I'm going to try to bring up the image.
Maybe he's just trying not to spoil anything, I guess.
I don't know.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Sorry, guys. I think I actually pulled the wire by accident when I moved my hand. I was saying Jonathan Kent is going to be played by an Australian actor. I can't. But yeah, that's the kid right there, which actually is interesting to me because I actually think he looks more like he could be the fraternal twin brother of the kid who plays Jordan than the other kid who just left the show. But his name is Michael Bishop, and I guess he was in the Disney Channel movie Spin.
Did you say Bishop?
I certainly did because that's his last name.
It's a callback to the X-Men thing I said.
No, you get right out of town, sir. I had no idea. That was completely lost on me.
I'm glad that they're willing to continue that show.
That. I realized that.
What was that, Yo-Yo?
Like, that's silly because I didn't even grab that.
Yay!
Bishop's Crossing. But yeah, so he's got, they have this new kid, and he'll be coming, and we'll see how he does,
It's great that they're gonna continue this show too, because I mean, everybody that I have talked to about it that likes comics doesn't even like the character of Superman, but they're like, I freaking love this show. I'm like, what?
Well, much like what you were saying about other things, Justin. I mean, there's only so many times you can tell the same stories over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
And with Superman and Lois, they are telling a very different type of story than we've ever seen Superman in, especially in this medium. It's been a little bit more in the comics recently up until the point that this show was made. But otherwise, no, it's not something that we're used to. We've never gotten a chance to see Clark Kent as a husband and father. And so that's uncharted territory, which allows them to really play with character moments and beats. And I think the most important thing is that they didn't sacrifice the core of the character to tell these stories. They incorporate the core of the character to make these stories more compelling. The fact that Clark is looking through things of from the prism of how he was raised and how he dealt with having powers and how to best approach that with his own kids. Not having powers, just general trials and tribulations of teenage life, what to do with the powers that they have developed. It's it's pretty cool, and the fact that he and Lois are like a full on team. You know, they without doing like a corny "We Are Team Flash" type thing. You know, they very much make it the forefront of the conceit of the characters in it, that the reason he can be Superman is because of the people in his life, because of his family. He does this to protect them and everyone else, you know, and it's done very well. It's hopeful, but it's not hokey. It's optimistic, but it's not cloying or campy. And I think they found the right balance. There's a lot that occurs even in the first season that honestly shows you how you can do a character like Superman updated for modern movie going audiences without resorting to, you know, full on anime style destruction porn. You know,
I just want to say real quick, for those of you that are watching the image on the screen right now, that's his new suit for season 3.
It looks like the Superman Returns suit a little bit.
kind of. Mostly, you're probably thinking that mostly because of the fact that they made the S look a little bit more three-dimensional, so the red field appears to be raised, and that was certainly the case with Superman Returns. The S is certainly bigger than it was on the Superman Returns suit. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I mean, he looks the character, he plays the role well. I will say, I do wish that they would have him be a little bit more clean shaven when he's Superman as opposed to when he's Clark, because the Superman with 5 o'clock shadow all the time is starting to feel a little Superman 3. like I have expect him to sit down at a bar and start flicking peanuts at fucking liquor bottles just to watch him explode. But yeah, like it's such a ridiculously good show. It has, like, I want to say it has no right to be as good as it is, honestly. And I've mentioned this, I've said this exact phrase. They have subverted my expectations for that show at every fucking turn. I watched the first season, and everything I thought I knew about the villain, or I could know about the villain, was completely fucking turned on its ear by the time that season ends. And I was like, I was like excited because I don't have them pulled over on me too often. And when I got to the end, I was like, all right, okay, all right, I'm on to you now. And then we got to the second season, and I was like, oh shit, they're really gonna do this. And then they subverted my expectation on that. I was like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And then they still went and did it a third fucking time after that. And I was like, all right, I'm just going to not even guess anymore. I clearly don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm done. You know, if you would ask me to make predictions on season 1 when I started watching it, thank God I never had anything like that on air, because I would have been so wildly incorrect that I'd just be like, I don't think I should be on the show anymore.
Yeah.
It's surprisingly good. I'll put it that way. It's surprisingly good. Fucking that season 1, man, like, villains are not villains are villains. Oh, dude. And it's not any of that weird soap opera-esque bullshit that you see in a lot of CW stuff. They kept it at like a tight 16 episodes. Like, the filler on all this stuff is minimal.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of like teen angst, but it's very minimal.
But it doesn't even go like the full Dawson's Creek.
Well, yeah, totally. Like the campsite episode. You know, I thought, oh my god, okay, this is where the show's going. Okay, I'm out now. You know, I thought it was going to be, you know, turn into a big teen drama from
then
that.
It most certainly, yes, then shit fucking happens, like, right when you least expect it. It's Yeah, check it out if you haven't seen it. It's surprisingly good. And let me see if there's anything else here. Black Panther. Clerks 3 is out in theaters this week with Fathom Events.
Going tomorrow.
Ooh.
I saw it
nice.
last night. It's pretty good, man. I personally was not like the biggest fan of Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back or Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. They're fun, don't get me wrong, but I always liked the View Askew universe as it was set up with like Clerks, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Dogma, Clerks 2. And this movie has more of that sensibility of those movies. It feels more in line with sort of classic Kevin Smith. There's still enough modern zany-ish Kevin Smith stuff peppered in, don't get me wrong, because like, you know, the guy grew up and this is what he does, but it very much at its core is still like Dante and Randall's story, and there were certain beats in it that I didn't anticipate. I mean, I watched the trailer for it. I stayed away from really finding anything else about it other than, you know, okay, Randall has a heart attack and he decides to make a movie, and the movie he's making basically is Clerks, you know? That's it. That's all I knew. And going in to watch it, after a little bit, I'm like, oh my, didn't know that. That's rough. And then you get a little further on, and it's like, oh no, Randall, but obviously he lives because he's making the fucking movie in the movie. And then you work your way through to the end, and it's like probably one of the best analogies for a life experience that I've ever seen in a movie in Clerks 3.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's high praise. So this is.
I was like, damn, dude. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like I teared up a little bit. Like when
where do you rate this for his work?
For like just solely based on Kevin Smith?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, there's a difference between what I can rate as, you know, technically correct, like for everyone, and like what I personally prefer. But
well, it's only about your opinion. Like as a fan, and you've said like maybe the other two that you mentioned before would be on the bottom, right? You're like, oh, you know,
I wouldn't even count those. Yeah.
So then where do you put it? Because like,
I mean, I'm probably gonna have to put it Dogma, Clerks.
Do you like Jersey Girl, or do you not?
Oh, I love Jersey. I wasn't including that in the View Askew universe. But if that's the case, I'm gonna say Dogma, Jersey Girl.
Oh, fair. Yeah.
Dogma, Jersey Girl, Clerks, Mallrats, mostly because of the connecting thread between Clerks and Mallrats. And then because, you know, the girl that dies at the beginning of Mallrats is the girl whose funeral they go to attend in Clerks, Julie Dwyer. Then I'd go Clerks 2, Chasing Amy, Clerks 3, then Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, and Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. And placing Clerks 3 that far down on the list, that's not a knock against it. It's just you need to like experience the other movies, especially like Clerks 1 and Clerks 2, to get the full effect of Clerks 3. But yeah, I think it's pretty good. It's not. I'm not saying it's the best movie. You know, I don't want anybody walking in there thinking that it's.
Sounds like you enjoyed it though. Like it's worth the price of the ticket.
Yeah, I will purchase it when it comes out as well.
I liked Reboot myself. I thought it was hilarious.
I thought Reboot was a nice answer for Strikes Back. But
Strikes Back is probably my second to least favorite. Actually.
I remember seeing Strikes Back in the movie theater, and I was just like, as somebody who loved those independent movies and stuff, I sat down and I was like, what the fuck did I just see? Like it was they became cartoon characters. and I was like, these are not the same guys that I last saw in Dogma. This is weird.
Yeah, there was some weirdness going on there, and not my cup of tea.
Yeah, me neither. But yeah, this new one, I enjoyed it. It has a more heart than we've seen in a Kevin Smith project in a very long time. I mean, I'm even wearing my Clerks Roosevelt's shirt right now. Bought like a couple weeks ago. This is like the uniform shirt they wear in the movie, which I did not know when I wore it to the movie.
Very cool. I was looking at the purple movie one myself. So
I also have that. I bought them all. Like I was leaving nothing to chance.
Wow.
Yeah, I have so many points on that website right now. It's not even funny.
They're starting to give you airline miles.
Maybe you should respond to an email.
Maybe I should. Maybe. I mean, I wear the fucking shirts like every fucking episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it. You know, if you like Clerks and Clerks 2, especially if you like the stuff before Kevin Smith like made Jay and Silent Bob like the central characters of everything. I think that you'll enjoy Clerks 3. It is certainly, as Kevin Smith said, the closing out of the Clerks trilogy, and I think it was handled with care. So
that's good.
That's all I got to say about that. That's my mama.
I felt bad because I didn't even like. It wasn't until like later, like mid afternoon today, that I like was like, "Oh, dude, this came out."
Yeah, you'll see it soon enough. I guarantee it. I guarantee.
Oh, when's it supposed to be on VOD?
Oh, probably not for like another month or something.
I imagine a month or so because they're doing a tour with it. One of our
the convenience tour
just saw it.
Yeah. I saw the reboot tour, and I've also seen Kevin Smith in a couple of panels and what have you. And I didn't need to go and see it with the convenience tour because I love Kevin Smith, but I've heard Kevin Smith. Like, there's only so many times that I'm gonna pay extra money to hear like a lot of the same kind of stories and what have you. Like, I'm good, man. I'll pay to see your movie. That's fine for me. I've met you, I've talked with you, I've gotten your autograph, I've taken photos with you. We've reached a saturation point. I am good now.
I was about to grab something. I was like, I keep just pulling out random toys.
Oh, that's fucking great, dude. That's awesome. Nice. That is badass.
I don't have anything close by that's Kevin Smith endorsed, but I do have a mouser. I guess that's a.
I mean, nearby is a relative term. It's 15 feet over this way, and I'm not going to get it. But I have the signed script for Jay and Silent Bob reboot from Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes.
That's cool. That's very cool.
Yeah, I
like them guys.
Yeah,
I like Jersey Girl. I'll stand up for that film.
I love that movie. I absolutely adore that movie.
Man. I like that movie. You know,
he was great as the father / grandfather in that, and Stephen Root and those other guys as his friends. Forget about it, man.
Fucking Fresh Prince.
You're gonna fucking crucify us upside down if we stop traffic. Like St. Peter. Yeah, everyone here knows I meant St. Peter. Who are you, the Holy Father? I don't need you to explain my shit. Kills me. He reminds me of so many of my uncles and stuff from Charlestown and Boston. It's fucking great. But yeah, like shifting, because I know we want to wrap it up here too. One big thing that we kind of skipped over, aside from Secret Invasion trailer came out. So that's clearly going to be a big deal. It's for a series on Disney Plus. We're going to basically be watching it every week, trying to figure out who the fuck is who. I mean, it's the Skrulls invading. They can change their shape to look like anybody that they see. So who knows how long some of them have been doing it. Remember, at Captain Marvel, they painted them as like the refugees, the good guys. And near as I can figure, maybe it's a faction of Skrulls that decided to do this. I don't know that it's Talos and his wife that have anything to do with whatever insurrection might be taking place.
He is.
I hope
his voice is in the trailer. So
he's in it.
We know he's going to be in it.
Mendelsohn's in it. Yeah.
Yeah. Ben Mendelsohn's straight up in it. So That'll be super interesting. I'm like totally down for like Invasion of the Body Snatchers like thriller. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool. I think. And Sam Jackson he's an excellent actor, so I have every confidence that he's gonna pull this off with aplomb. But the other big thing, and because this was like an actual dealie that occurred, they announced and showed the cast / roster for Thunderbolts.
Oh yes,
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And what we have here, for those of us that are watching from left to right, there's Val Contessa, played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Then that's Ghost from Ant-Man and the Wasp, played by Hannah John Kamen, I believe is her name, something like that.
Yeah, I think so.
Then David Harbour as Red Guardian, friggin' bearded goofball. Then Florence Pugh as Yelena Belova, aka the new Black Widow. I don't know. Sebastian Stan as Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier. John Walker, played by Wyatt Russell, as U.S. Agent. And that is I can't remember her name.
Olga Krylenko.
Olga. It's her last name. Is it Krylenko? I massacre it when I don't have it right in front of me. But yeah, Olga Krylenko as Taskmaster, as she was seen at the end of Black Widow. And if you haven't seen that movie, sorry, I just quote ruined it for you.
No, that's okay.
Which it's amusing to me because a couple of days before D23, I was telling my wife about Thunderbolts and what the team was initially in Marvel Comics and how I think it could play out, like much like we did on air, with them naming it that as a dedication to General Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, because they'll likely have his character have passed away, much like William Hurt did in real life. But I was like, it just kind of sucks because I feel like they really blew their wad on having Taskmaster the way they did in Black Widow, because it would have been great to have the character the way he is in the comics.
Mhm.
And even if it was a woman, regardless, it doesn't matter. Like, have Taskmaster be Taskmaster with their abilities, and they're the ones that are responsible for training the Thunderbolts as a team. Like to get them to work together and test them and what have you.
How do you make this team interesting without the characters from the comic book on it? Right? Because if you read the comics and you had Citizen V, right, who was was it V or Z? Right?
Z.
So Citizen Z, who was essentially Zemo and all that, and it's like he's absent here. You don't have a Hulk, you don't have a screaming Mimi,
No, but you do have 1, 2, 3, 4 people who were irrevocably changed because of super soldier serum projects.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So there's a common thread right there.
I'm just wondering how different this is going to be from Suicide Squad. That's.
I mean, I definitely
get. I understand Bucky though.
I definitely get the feeling that that's what they're going for.
He's going to be the Rick Flag, so he's going to be the one that they have to kind of like pull everybody in, and you've got the wild card, and the femme fatale, and like the martial artists and all that. So it's kind of like your regular Dirty Dozen type of team, and I'm sure they're going to pull it off better than Suicide Squad. I'm sure they are, but they don't have a lot of humorous characters here besides David Harbour.
I mean, I wouldn't say, of course, they're going to do it better than the Suicide Squad, because.
No, I said Suicide Squad. I didn't say.
Okay. I'm sorry.
So,
I thought that,
but I could see a lot of similarities here, where it's like the Suicide Squad was really, really humorous, and with the John Cena and all of that kind of stuff they did with Peacemaker. But here they're clearly going for a different vibe with it. But I'm just I'm intrigued, but it's
not blown away. Yeah. And that's understandable. The piece in the puzzle that really kind of makes me scratch my head is Ghost.
Yeah.
From Ant-Man and the Wasp, because I'm not really certain how she plays into this group as a whole. I mean, obviously, I know that they would probably want to use her more for like reconnaissance or what have you. I get it.
She's a criminal, so
But so she also worked for Shield for a while.
yeah,
it's
that's
true.
a good point.
But the thing is, like every single one of, well, with the exception of Taskmaster, because she's just fucking programmed, like literally programmed. So no real quote training needed there. But the others have actually all had to and been effective, had to be part of and effective parts nonetheless of teams, of groups.
Yeah.
They actually know how to work with others in order to achieve a common goal. Ghost was always on her own. That she is not someone who worked with others. She was kept isolated and was alone and in pain for most of her life. So
Didn't she have Goliath as the guy in the chair, kind of?
eventually, like when she was trying to get away from it, he was trying to help her. But like, I don't think he was there for like ever. But you know, they may play into that with how her character interacts in the show, like how whatever her arc may be. I'm not trying to, you know, get down on the thing. I'm gonna watch it and I hope it's good.
It'd be cool to send these guys out against like some real powerhouses. Like, hey, you guys have to take out the Punisher, or hey, you had to take out Abomination or something. Like, send them up against like someone with some real powers. That'd be interesting to see.
Well, so speaking of Abomination, sorry, go ahead, Yo-Yo.
I was gonna say I don't know about Abomination. That's like another super soldier serum. Like
yeah.
For real.
I'll send him against the Armadillo. You know.
Well, I was going to say with Abomination, some people thought that he would be on the team as well. There's a chance maybe they haven't announced everybody. And remember what Abomination said in She-Hulk. He wants to go live with his 7 soulmates.
Mm-hmm.
And it was 7 characters released.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You know what I think, guys? I think he's going after those diamonds that Mr. Pink ended up with.
I mean, my first thought was when he kept saying 7 soulmates that he was talking about the people that were going to be his teammates. However, when those women all showed up to the prison and they were clearly like a commune waiting for him to be released, I feel like that lent a lot of credence to what he was saying.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been wrong before, so what the fuck do I know?
I don't think we're going to see him again unless it's like in some sort of comedic fashion, you know?
Yeah. I mean, he was clearly having a lot of fun with that role altogether.
Oh, yeah.
So.
That was good.
And I enjoyed it. About the Ross thing. Because I'm pretty sure Rhodey is probably taking a seat in the Senate.
Well, that's, you know, that's
from the Secret Invasion trailer.
Yeah. Because that's the thing is like every other time we saw Rhodey when he wasn't, you know, tooling around the Avengers compound or getting ready to go out in his War Machine or Iron Patriot gear, he was always in his dress uniform.
Mm-hmm.
And in the trailer, we see him wearing a suit with a tiny American flag pin.
Could be.
And when he meets with Nick Fury, it's in a restaurant that is completely cleared out except for the 2 of them, and he has security detail. That seems very much like a, you know, politician type move.
Yeah.
But the other thing for me, when I saw that, I'm glad you brought it up, Yo-Yo. It begs the question: is Rhodey a Skrull?
Because he was walking pretty normally there.
What about, and not only that, but what about the shift from like wanting to be career military, loving his job, you know, that's what he does, to I want to be in politics now. I want to be one of the people in power that helps control the laws and makes the laws. Sounds like a very well-placed Skrull impersonator, if you ask me. You know, so would we lose Leo here?
Yeah.
My camera is actually with Jar Jar right now, my webcam. So I need to go up to Massachusetts to pick it up. So I was using my cell phone as my webcam.
Oh.
And my battery died on my phone. I guess the USB port I had it plugged into was not a charging port.
Oh, that's
or
rough.
or just not like too much power drawn.
It's a scroll.
To do both.
The scroll thing.
Yeah. Yep. We'll blame the scrolls.
Scrolls.
It's not really a phone; it's a scroll.
Just to add on what you guys are saying too, they are planning on doing an Armor Wars, and that was announced as well with Don Cheadle doing that. So maybe what you're saying, him starting out one way could be the imposter, while he goes out to try to find those other Iron Man tech that has been out there, or Extremis, or is it Extremis tech? I don't know.
Extremis. Well, Extremis was what Aldrich made at the end of in Iron Man 3. Like, no,
what
no,
kept
wait.
Pepper Potts alive.
Yeah, whoopie shit.
Yeah.
But
is anyone else just sick of her?
Yeah, I mean, we saw her less and less as the movies went on, so I would venture to say there were definitely people that were sick of her.
And then more, and then less.
But then more again.
She must have gave him free candles.
Yeah, yes, she did.
Wow.
What's in the box? Oh, it's a candle. That's good.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
What's in the box?
Smells like a box.
Smells like goop in here.
Wow. Wow, Brandon. You are
We've just
a piece
received
of
a
work.
cease and desist from Goop Industries International.
Oh god.
Oh man.
I work hard just like every other mother across the world. I pay $9 for a gallon of milk just like anybody else.
Yeah.
What? No. I don't know how much milk is. My milk concierge gets it for me.
How much is a carb? Yeah.
1? Ooh, that sounds like a lot.
Yeah, we can't do that. Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, so jeez, that really just threw me off something curious.
So we're talking about the Candle Wars.
No, we're not. Stop it.
Okay. All right, the Armor Wars. So
Armor Wars.
But
Yeah, I mean we'll see how that
right.
pans out. I mean, I just it's such a shift in character for Rhodey that it was noticeable to me. Like, weird. Okay. I mean, Armor Wars, honestly, like, I don't have a horse in that race at all. Like, if it's good, cool. If it's not, I'll be fine.
That's fair.
My only thing is, if you're gonna do Armor Wars, please bring back Sam Rockwell as Justin Hammer. That guy
he just made an announcement or something like that he would be down to do Thunderbolts.
Fuck yeah. I mean, it's fucking crazy to me. I mean, he got called in because he was one of the final people they were looking at to play Tony Stark in Iron Man. And clearly I hope Don Cheadle's contract gets renewed as well,
Yeah.
Tom.
He's got to make up for Space Jam. You saw it, you know why.
But
unfortunately,
yeah, it was
with having Sam Rockwell come in for the second movie as Justin Hammer and to just not utilize him at all since, what a waste of talent that you got attached to your stuff. I mean, for real. And on top of it, his longtime partner, Leslie Bibb, ends up in every single Iron Man movie. Straight up, she's the reporter that I think sleeps with Tony in the first movie and then kind of smart mouths him at a couple of media events in the next two. But yeah, like I especially with the fact that they threw All Hail the King back out as a one shot right before Shang-Chi was released. So that way we were refamiliarized with what happened to Trevor after the events of Iron Man 3.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a real back doorway for them to remind everyone about Justin Hammer as well.
That would be cool to have another one of those. Like a 10-minute short about Justin Hammer.
Yeah, but not even just a short, just like they already put him in something that got thrown right into the zeitgeist all over again. And everyone focused on Trevor being like in that he was showing up in Shang-Chi. But like Armor Wars was announced even at that point in time. And it's like, why was nobody saying anything about Justin Hammer showing up?
Yeah.
That's
a good point.
That's a conversation that we're probably going to be hearing a lot more of once it gets closer to that series coming out. But regardless of all that, we'll have that conversation then. Leo, it seems as though you are going to be pictureless here, so we probably want to sign off. You want to just you want to be the voice from the void and say, "Hi everyone, I'm Leo, and hey, here's this," or do you want me to just?
All right, he can be the voice from the void, but he has to time it out with the little blue balls.
I can't allow him to do that, Dave. He was going to hurt you.
Wait, guys, I haven't seen the show. Is Leo Orphan Black?
Hello, I am 3 dots on a screen.
I don't think that's a good idea, Dave.
I don't think that's a good idea. Daisy, give me. Sorry. By the way, X-51 Machine Man from Marvel Comics. He was created in a 2001 Space Odyssey comic book by Jack Kirby. He was supposed to be the baby at the end of 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Oh, jeez.
Yep, well, and Kirby loved the idea so much that he managed to like sneak Machine Man into MCU proper, and they tweaked his origin a little bit to make it Celestials that created him instead of the Monolith. And there you go. But
that's cool.
Machine Man was created as part of a weird comic sequel to 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yep, that's me, man. A font of useless comic book information.
Well, it's just in our fearless leader can no longer hear and no longer speak. So he's just here ceremoniously.
All right. I'm gonna fucking boot Leo off so we can say goodbye to everybody. I mean, he can't do anything. He can't see anything. Nothing. Okay. Well,
his headphones died apparently.
He can watch us live every Wednesday at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on the Dorkening.
All right. Well, somebody's gonna fucking do something here, so it might as well be me. Okay. Let's see here. Yo.
Hey.
Tell everybody where they can find your smiling face.
On Instagram, Yo Saint Laurent. It's pretty much where I'm at right now.
All right, that's Yo-Yo, everyone.
I know,
he's
very
on Instagram. Yo Saint Laurent, and as ever, a man of few words, but man, those few words pack a punch.
Yes.
Justin
sorry,
Cooper.
I've been so quiet. You can
Where
check
can
me
people
out
find you?
on the Dorkening podcasts, the Comics Paradox, and which Brandon will probably tell you a little bit more about, and the Dork Night. So bi-weekly podcast in which we talk about everything that's special about the Batman or the Batman universe. And on my regular show, you can get me Epic Tales from the Sewers.
And all right. Excellent. And yeah, Leo, goddammit, stop doing that. I was gonna show your messages, son of a murder. Okay, Leo said, "Oh crap, we forgot video games. Zelda. Damn it."
Talk about that when Steve comes back.
Fucking Zelda may not have been number one on our show tonight, but it will always be number one in our hearts. I don't know. That's what I got, and I'm sticking with it.
Ooh, I love you, Zelda.
I love you so much. I named my first child after you.
Marvelous, fantastic.
I love pushing the buttons. So, wow.
4 hours later.
Yeah, right. So everyone, my name is Brandon Powers, aka Powerful Brandon. If you feel so inclined, I'd love it if you came over and checked out the Powers Combined Facebook group. Just a group of dorks and geeks that like to get together, share info, memes, news, laughs, fun times to be had by all. Our number one rule there is don't be a jerk. If you violate that, you will be booted immediately. You can find me. Yeah, can find or check out. Feck me out. Nope. You can find me on Twitter at Brandon's Powers and on Instagram at this Brandon Has Powers. And I also, aside from being here every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Dorkening Wednesday Night Show, I do 2 podcasts with Justin Cooper and Leo Pond. The first of which is the one I'll say Justin wanted me to talk about, the Comics Paradox, which covers alternate reality takes and tales like DC Elseworlds or Marvel What Ifs. we also get into story arcs in full-blown series, such as Amalgam Comics or the Age of Apocalypse story arc, even Tangent Comics coming from DC down the line. So it's a lot of fun. That's every other Sunday, released at 8 a.m. And the other one, which alternates week to week with Comics Paradox, is the Dork Night. As I said, also done with Justin Cooper and Leo Pond, in which we discuss and dissect all things Batman. It's a lot of fun. Like I said, every other Sunday at 8 a.m. and you can find them wherever fine podcasts are broadcast. And aside from that, gang, we're gonna take our leave here. There's Leo. I put him front and center. We the three of us and the three blue dotted black screen, henceforth known as Leo, say thank you,
Captain Pike,
for tuning
He's
in.
loading, guys. Gotta let him load.
His wheel is spinning, kids.
Remember when
And,
Leo was on the Twilight Zone and he could only communicate with little beeps?
You want to see something really scary?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's our show, kids. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you all next week. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody.